Phew. Oh, what a great start to the stream. Alright. Coaching more people. I haven't seen this replay yet. Greetings.
Yo,
How's it going?
going great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I don't think I've seen this. Oh, wait, I have seen this replay, I think. Okay, so you said you wanted to work on your Genji, was it?
Right. I feel like I'm not really that effective with him, but I feel like I can do a lot better with him.
Okay. Um, yeah, Genji's a bit weird right now because he's not like the primary damage dealer in a composition. Especially if you're playing a rush composition like with Queen. But let me go ahead and start sharing my screen, and then I'll start pointing out some things that we can immediately work on. The
Alright.
positioning is definitely one where it's or tell me when you can see the screen. It might bug.
I can see it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the positioning is one thing that's going to be very important, and then also just the general mechanics. I can help you out with. So positioning wise, I noticed that when you get stuck, you love positioning on the flank. Um, where most of the time you're positioning main, which is good, but when you get stuck, you love positioning on the flank where um that's the tricky thing on Genji in this meta. He's not really diving, so hard engages are going to be very hard. It's more so being flexible and going into the front line. Taking an off angle is another thing where like you can go off to the side where you create a pinch with the enemy team. Let me share my screen so I can draw here. And then again, tell me if you can see my screen because this time it's
Uh-huh.
probably gonna bug.
I can see it.
Oh, cool. Okay, so let me go over because this is very important for Genji and most DPS players. If we talking about off angles and then also creating a pinch. So you guys killed the Doom here, which is good. And then you immediately default to the right side or left side across from where your tank is, which is really good. In certain situations, like pushing through a chokehold, for example, like a tighter chokehold than this, just stacking with your tank will be really good. Otherwise, you have a really nice off angle where the enemies all have to look at your tank here. Um, and then so you on the side will get an opportunity to where they're strafing side to side, you get easier shots. They're also not looking at you, and then you also have an easier angle of attack, so you won't get punished for jumping in from the front. Um, so looking for those off angles is really good, like right here. Um, Instead of hard flanking, because you'll limit the amount of ult charge that you get, which is like very important for you, even though like his blade right now isn't like a nano blade win the entire game kind of ordeal in the way he's balanced. But where is that going with this? Oh yeah, so building your ult charge and then also staying relevant for when you need to go in or when you can create space. So if, for example, the soldier up here is by himself on the high ground, if you decided right now, okay, I have full cooldowns and that the enemy Sigma doesn't have rock and they don't have wall, so they won't wall me behind, you can take a quick dash up here and duel him until you get to like 100 health and then reflect and get out. And that's a really good part about Genji because what it's going to do is relieve a ton of pressure for your tank to walk in. Um, it's gonna force the cooldowns from everyone and like everyone to look at you, and force the really strong cooldowns and the positioning from them to get out. So kind of redundant, but the Zenyatta is gonna be orbing the soldier instead of the Sigma or the Mei to hold space. He's probably gonna discord you because you're out of position instead of your tank, so your tank can make space. The Ana will use one, if not both, of her cooldowns if you get the soldier really low on the soldier. And then also you have the chance of getting the kill. So if they don't do this, you might even get the kill. And that type of engage, especially if we look at like second point, for example, where you're gonna get like really stuck at second point in the default, instead of taking a hard flank on the side and looking specifically for a kill, just watch your attack into this point where one. I gotta find the where it is. I think it's this one. Yeah, where everyone is respawning and you take an angle on the side or in the main with your queen to be able to push through. I know this is where you guys tired them. I don't have timestamps in my notes because I didn't get a chance to watch all of these replays.
It's so good.
But needless to say, maybe I can find a replay in which no, that's probably going to take a lot of time. But if you're positioning on the side, then you can get a little bit more value. And then let's talk about when to use Blade here. Here is that replay. When and how to use Blade, because right now Blade is very hard where the supports are super overtuned and they'll be able to live your Blade even through a Nano Blade most of the time, which is terrible. But so using your Blade is more so of a tempo ultimate, because you're probably going to be building it super fast because you can play very far up with your tank and take those off angles wherever your tank is and shoot the enemy tank. When you do have your Blade though, it's important to note that going for a support is it's not going to be like an instant kill. It's probably going to take a very long time. Supports have so many saving cooldowns that even if you hard engage onto any of the supports, they're going to stall for another like 4 or 5 seconds. So for you, your rotation into ult, you should be very wary and still do this exact same like dash up, ult, and then dash in, like the default. But understand that when you go in, you can't go too far to the enemy team, and you still have to be somewhat connected to your support. So let's look at this ult here. And then also the timing of your ult inside the team fight, because it's not like a team wipe, like extremely strong ultimate that it used to be, where it's like you can get an instant 5k just with your own Blade. You need to be a bit wiser and understand the cooldowns that they have that'll deny your ultimate, and wait for those to come out first, especially like now where it's like even if you dodge them, their saving cooldowns are going to be like too much of a problem after dodging it. It's just like too much stuff adding up at the same time. So waiting for the middle or towards the end of a team fight, or like right after the enemies use a ton of stuff. For example, I use Suzu here, which is really good. Okay, so this ult is actually pretty decent, I think. Your positioning into it though is really hard because, like I said earlier, you can't one-shot. So if you notice where your team is when you start this ult, the reason why you get bursted down so quickly, because okay, first odd case scenario, your team is being Sigma ulted, but to be able to ult into the backline is super hard because everyone's gonna turn around and you're gonna have to put yourself out of position to ult. So in terms of who to ult onto, the Zenyatta is a really good target, but also consider if there's a DPS on the side or if the tank is low in a bad position in main, you could also ult them just for like the pure damage, and getting 1 or 2 kills is always better than flopping on a Blade like this, where it's like, it's just how it is right now, where the supports are so strong they can keep themselves up through 3 swings, and you're going to force yourself to be out in the middle of no man's land in the enemy's backline. So just purely understanding that and not going for like carrying hero plays with your Blade is going to be able to help you climb and play Genji way faster right now. In the future, they might buff Genji, which hopefully they do, because I also like playing Genji like that, where that's like where Genji was for the most of Overwatch, where you can just like Blade jump up and go back in on the supports, even in the enemy backline, because when you get your dash resets, all will be fine. But now, like, when you get your dash resets, unless you kill a very important support, there are so many cooldowns that will just completely shut you down that it's very hard to, like, continue. Okay, let's talk about your mechanics here. The overall general mechanics of Young Genji. I think... Okay, because I can, like, smell that, like, the engages aren't perfect or like very solid versus my ability to articulate to you how to exactly engage. One thing that I want to let me go into the practice range and give you a couple of examples. So there are 2 modes of playing Genji. One is like complete hard diving, and the other is like charging your ult, waiting for an opportunity. So if we look at your gameplay, you're doing really well at like just building your ult, waiting for an opportunity you made. But when you need to go in, or when you find an opportunity to go in, you should be you should use the element of surprise as much as possible to burst the enemies. And if you can kill the enemies like in like a millisecond, that's the optimal way to kill the enemies. Or for example, if you can get behind them or do a dash and then flick 180 and get the headshot with your shurikens, which I'm not a good Genji, so I can't do that very consistently. But even more so, let me full screen here so I don't flick off the monitor. Getting the time between the enemy realizes that you're there versus the time that they're dead, and mastering that with like in the middle of like you're building ult, and then you see they get down to 120 HP and their support isn't looking at them. Okay, bad example, that guy's at like 1 health. But they get down to an HP where you can go in. It should be like very instant where you right click and dash in, and then you're on top of the enemies, like hard committing to the fight. Because I feel like you're going in like you're playing a hit scan, where you're like still in front matching the movement, and playing at mid range, where I want you like inside of the enemies, even more so taking advantage of when you jump over the enemies, you can see their heads. Whoa, what is my mouse doing? But you can see their heads more.
Basically as close range as possible. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. As close range as possible where you're still in control of your own movement. But also, like, one tech that I want you to be doing is utilizing the high grounds, because if you initiate from a high ground, you get to shoot the head. Then also, if you dash in, and let's say you miss it, I want you jumping over people and disorienting them on your hard commits. So let me go back to that where you were committing onto that Zenyatta and the soldier, for example. The soldier is an exception where... No! There's an update.
Oh my god.
Wait, please. Okay, we can still look... No! The replays! The replays are all gone.
Hold on.
Feels bad, man.
If I go to update now, will it work?
No, they all get deleted after the update.
Oh, damn. Hold on, though. What about a live session? If I hop into a game right now, what do you think?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can go into like a quick play game, and then I think in between the fights, definitely, so I can help you out. So you can go ahead and queue for one now while I'm still explaining like some of the mechanics.
Let me download it right now.
Okay, yeah, we're both sitting here downloading. So when you hard engage, and then let me talk about the kinds of hard engages, or like how you can use your kit to better hard engage. If you're committing to a fight, you dash it. You start with your dash and go in. Otherwise, most of the time in the neutral, while you're building your ult, you're going to find an opportunity to, for example, wall climb, get close to the enemy DPS, and then start your engage. And in that engage, you can prolong it by using your deflect, and then after your deflect is done, dash out and be able to... It's like, you know, you take the opportunity, but if for some reason either you miss shots or you do or they peel for the enemies or whatever reason, you want to still be able to get value and not die. So you save your dash for later. And so it's a bit of a lot of experience on knowing like when's good to hard engage and use your dash to go in and fully commit to the kill. And when you also understanding yourself and the limits of Genji. For example, if you're dueling a soldier 76 and he still has heal pad and you get him to 180 health, and he's right in front of his supports, that's probably not a good hard engage. Versus if there's a Zenyatta and you get him to 100 health, and even if he's in front of like his other support, if they don't have the cooldowns to be able to save the Zenyatta, you can definitely hard engage. Do a live patch notes. Wait, hold on. What do they even patch?
It's like a...
No, it's bug fixes. That's it. No way.
And new skins. That's it.
Oh, new skins. Okay. That's pretty cool. But I think all the replays are gone. Yep. Okay, so let me go into the range and show you what's going to go on in the default. So, again, so once you have the positioning down where it's like one building blade and just looking for opportunities, the second part is actually capturing those opportunities. And so if you're ready to hard engage, whatever health the enemy's at, I want you to, especially like when you're hard engaging, you should never use your left click. unless you really screwed up and you're at mid range now, or like even like 15 meters. Like this is like where you should use your left click. Anywhere in below that, it should just be right clicking to get more shots at the enemy, more opportunities to hit the enemy. It's just not worth the risk of, especially since they're at close range, missing your left click and then screwing up because of that. So now, let's say you find the opportunity to hard engage. You want to hard engage in, and secure the kill with your right clicks and be jumping over the enemy. And if it doesn't go well, or if you need to deflect a cooldown, then you deflect a cooldown, and then you have your dash out for after you kill the enemies. But most of the time, you're going to be sitting here left clicking, and then you'll find an opportunity, and you, bad example, and then you right click dash in, and then right click melee. And after you dash, usually you go in the air and right click melee. I can't go in the air. So then you can get the headshots. Yeah, so what was your question?
I don't really have a question. I mean, I'm in the match now, that's what I tried to say.
Okay, cool. Let me add you as a friend. Can you send your battle, or are you in a comp, or?
No, I'm streaming on Discord if you didn't
Okay.
see.
Is there
That's
any
fine
way
with you.
that, yeah, let me send you my battle tag and you can add me really quick so then I can just stream it from my client, which is a little better than
Alright.
the Discord. That way
Sure,
there's
that's
no
alright.
latency, or if it drops in quality, then it won't drop in quality on my end.
Yeah, hold on. I kind of forgot. There it is.
Perfect. Yeah, so at the very beginning of this round here, I want you mostly playing with your tank. Grab that high ground from the enemies, and then just start building your ult charge and looking for opportunities.
Okay.
And then in like what we were talking before, we were analyzing the enemy team composition, understand what threats they have. So they have a Moira, who's really bad. They have a Cassidy that you can duel. That's a skill matchup. What else do they have? They have a Zarya, so if she has bubbles, you can't go in. And then they also have a Genji, which is another skill duel. So, yeah, now you're waiting, and they have an Ana, so you have to watch out for the sleep. So hard engaging is going to be really hard for you here. So, yeah, we understand. Just hold your right click here. Even, yeah, pretty much, unless you're shooting the Ana.
Oh my god, I
Yeah,
was scared
sure.
of that Ana.
If they're at half health, I want you to trust your mechanics and just dash into them. Right click, dash in, and then right click melee. So for example, that Cassidy, even though he's in front of his support, you can limit test a little and then understand your own boundaries.
I must recharge. Hold on.
Yeah. Try not to overextend. Try to let them come in and play behind your tank so that you can save your dash for when you really need it.
Alright.
Which is like when an enemy commits cooldowns or their positioning. Very nice.
Oh my god.
My strength unleashed.
No. Oh my god.
Okay. So remember what I was talking about, the off angles earlier? Another advantage...
Yeah?
Yeah, another advantage of those off angles is that the enemy has to choose between you and your tank. So the off angle won't work unless you have your tank or another DPS there to off angle with you, or to build the off angle off of. And so right now what's happening is you're going in on these good off angles, but there's no one there on your team, so they're just looking at you and just hard shooting you. So this is a really good off angle. See how the Zarya is not focusing you? Oh, okay.
I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, so you're not getting pressured, so you can just sit at that corner now. I mean, that soldier won the duel, but that's a different story.
I got my blade now though, so...
Yeah, remember what I was saying about when to use it in the stage of the fight. Make sure not to open with the blade here. If you see them use a ton of cooldowns, which they don't have any bubbles right now, those are some cooldowns. Yeah, and then your team's just staggering, so that's not cool.
Oh my god. Oh, no!
Nice
Okay,
shot.
that was my fault.
Yeah. You want to try to regroup with your team here.
I kind of tried to flank them, but I don't know if that's like a good move.
Not really, not really. Most of the time, if you're playing with your tank, that's probably the best. Not with, but like when your tank engages, you engage as well.
I don't know, I feel like I try to flank way too often with Genji.
Yeah, yeah. With the current way that things are balanced, not even just the meta, Genji is really, really hard to get value out of flanking. Unless you win your duels very often. Yeah, it's very, very hard to flank on Genji. If they have a Zenyatta or like a very diveable target, it's a different story. But supports like will just one-shot you, and so it's all or nothing. You kill two or you pretty much die on your own.
I feel like he's not too good right now. I don't know, I've never played him before though. Like, before he was good, so...
If I'm going to be honest with you, the DPS balancing isn't that good right now. Genji is actually one of the better DPS. So,
Really?
yeah, that just goes to show, like, if he's not fun to play, but he's one of the better DPS in the meta, yeah.
I mean, he is fun to play to me, but I just don't feel like he's too good.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that off angle is good. Try not to hard flank here. Because now your team has all the space because that Zarya chose you over your diva.
Oh my god.
Very nice.
I don't know how I won that.
I want you to focus on right now, at least. Get into habit before you dash. I want you to right click right before you dash every single time. Regardless of when.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I just don't get into the habit, I think. I just kind of forget about it when I actually dash in.
You would have got that kill on the first time if you did it. So it's very important to make it like muscle memory.
Okay. I think I need to do the short, what is it called, short dodges way more often.
And then also when you commit to engage, so like right there you were hard committing to the engage because you went out from behind the corner. I want you to start with your right click dash, so then you can close the gap. You can go in front of them, you can go behind them, I don't really care. Just be like on top of them. So if you're not playing on a corner, that's because you're hard engaging, and then I want you to be on top of the enemies. Really nice blade.
Oh my god.
Okay, nice shot. Yeah, the timing of that blade was pretty good. You found a good opportunity. It just be like that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes the blade gets me like 4 kills, and sometimes it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much things that can mess the blade up.
Nice shot.
Receive my aid.
Didn't actually hear that ult.
I think you're underestimating how much damage you can do. If they're ever at half health, I want you to right click dash at them.
Okay.
Yeah. Or even if they're at 150 health, like right now, hit it. Oh, that was so much closer than before. But now you just have to be wary if you don't immediately get the kill, be ready to get out.
They have way too many people on them.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, so in your brain, I think reprogram your brain to initiate with the dash, but only when you know you can win the fight. So you should never initiate unless you know you can win the fight, and then you initiate with the right click dash.
Okay. I mean, like, usually, I try to save the dash to get out of a situation, so...
I think it's just, you don't trust yourself to win the ones, but you definitely can. Okay. That guy missed the Suzu and he asked Suzu got nerfed. I'm not gonna be toxic. I was about to flame him.
I mean, I'm not playing any better, I can't say anything to him.
But also in your 1v1s, I think let's get yeah, I'll have you go into the practice range after this one, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'll let you focus here. Ooh, nice kill though. That was really good tracking. Alright, let's go into the practice
Zarya
range.
is annoying though, because like I can't deflect that beam or whatever it's called.
Yeah, yeah. Can I invite you to my own practice range? Or do I have to make a custom lobby?
I think it should work, yeah.
Yeah, can you pick Genji as well? Or no? Or actually, I don't need you to pick
I
Genji.
can.
I can just spectate. Alright, cool. Yeah, let's pick Genji. So I'll show you what it looks like first. Or, because, yeah, I already explained it. So I'll show you what it looks like, and then you can emulate. Let's try it on, like, a AUG or something easy. So when you engage, alright, first of all, practice the right click dash on the bots behind you. And so you get it down where you, yeah, every single time you dash, you right click dash first. And then, so yeah, do it just like a couple more times. It should just be like every time you dash. And it's a very instant like right click before the dash. You don't need to wait at all after your right click before you dash. All you need to do is make sure that it's before. Okay, so now after the right click dash, I want you to incorporate immediately double jump on over the enemies. So this is probably a bad location to do it. Let's like go out into the open where the moving bots are. Yeah, this is a good exercise because now you have to jump over moving bots or let them come out into the open. You right click dash and then you jump over them. Yeah, only the bots out in the open, so you have space to jump. Yep, and just keep on doing that and get the hang of like constantly jumping over. Because I notice in your duels, you like staying on the floor a lot and right-clicking their body rather than getting the easy headshot if you're jumping on top of their head. And when you jump over the enemies, what it does is it disorients them and it forces them to look up and spin around. So this is the best case scenario. Okay, and then so let's practice. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go straight to 180s. I was thinking about like, should we go straight to 180s? Okay, let's do it. So, when you go in on your next bot, I want you to Here, let me put you in spectators if I can. Oh, I can't. Okay, so I want you to do the right click dash, and then turn around and right click melee. So do it slow at first. So right click dash and then turn around and right click melee. Yeah. And then just slowly get faster and faster. If you miss your right click in melee, that means you're doing it too fast for now.
Okay.
Yeah, and just get the hang of that for a little. So this combo, because it's like very hard to hit it every single time, even though it can one shot, what it'll mostly be used on is if you find a target that's half health, because it's so hard to hit all of your cooldowns like consistently every single time. When you find a target at 100 or 150 health that you can hard initiate on, this is most likely what you're going to use to kill the target. So now you can also pair it with your jumping up and above, where now I want you to jump above after, or you are kind of doing it, but after you do the dash right click, you 180 and then right click and melee, and then jump while you're doing the right click and melee. So then you get a headshot, and then also you're already mid-air, ready to, if you didn't kill them, go back into the right clicks above them. Yeah,
Okay.
and this is going to make you very, very more lethal, especially in the 1v1s where it's super hard to track a Genji doing this versus him on the ground. Okay, now let's practice something different. I want you to, so I'll get the bots low for you, don't shoot the bots. Or, that's too low. But, so, you're gonna practice, for example, if a bot is, or if there's a player on the enemy team that you want to go on, but then you need to get out immediately. So, you're gonna right-click dash into the bot, turn around, and again, we can start slow, and right and dash back to where you started. You can use your deflect immediately after you get the kill, if you get the kill, and then dash back. And yeah, so go ahead and try that with the bots. Make sure that you're at like a decent medium range. Yeah. So you get the kill, and then you dash out. And try using your deflect before you get the kill, because sometimes you won't get the kill, and you need your deflect to reset and then get the kill. Yeah, and then you dash out. But the dash should be like very quick out. But practicing all of these,
Cooldown.
practicing all of these iterations where when you get into the game, it's second nature and you don't have to think about it. You just have to think like, because you'll be panicking. Like I heard you like panicking in the game, where you don't have time to think. It's just like you feel and you say, when I feel this, I do this. And so you'll feel like I'm in bad trouble after I got that kill. And so now I have the muscle memory to be able to just instantly dash out.
Alright, I mean, that should probably make things a lot easier.
And then, okay, let me think about if there's anything other mechanically that we need to work on. I think just mentioning also that when a target is 150 HP, unless they're by their supports, you can always go into that target and try to secure the kill. So, yeah, I think just... because we can go on to, like, Ghost Dashes or, like, blading 180s. But those are, like, much harder. And I'd rather have you, like, have this neutral down, where you're very, very, like, lethal. Yeah, just keep on practicing this, and then we'll play another quick play once you're, like, very solid. Like, it should be, like, not even, like, a... I shouldn't ever see you right-click before you dash, or not right-click before you dash, if you're going on a target. So get it down to the point where it's just, like, you don't even think about it. Like, your dash, like... to me, even I don't play Genji, but like before I dash, it's just like I right click. I don't even notice it sometimes. And that's the same for your blade. When you start blading, like even if you're not in range of someone, I want you to swing before you dash, because it's a free reset every single time. That one should come way easier once you have the right click down, because then it's just in your muscle memory to get the feeling of the animation cancel, and it'll feel like something's missing if you don't do it.
Okay. Should I also like right click before I deflect?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So getting that down as well. Let me think, is there anything else? Oh, I know what PC is lagging, it's because it's downloading like a ton of random stuff from video games. Yeah, okay. Random thing, but... Oh wait, these are all friendly bots. Why are they all friendly? Oh, because I set it to change team. I have a big brain, huh? Okay. I think you should be good. Actually, share that replay code with me, and then there's a couple of moments where I want to like, identify for you where you can engage, like good engage spots, and then explain why. And then in game, you won't have time to, you know, like, you'll just have to see it and act like immediately. My first replay code of the season is going to be a quick play game. That's pretty interesting.
I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it's just like it's a rare occurrence because usually I'll be like VODs or scrims or
I mean, that's
something or
fair.
another. Yeah, like comp or scrim is usually. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen for you. So, let's go over to where that Cassidy is 1 health. You should, in your mind, already prime the targets that you can go onto. So when I was listing them off in the very beginning, it's like, Genji's a skill, Cassidy's also a skill. Moira is like extremely hard to kill. The Ana is also a target if she doesn't have her cooldowns, and so you need to factor in the Moira, the Ana, and the Zarya whenever you're thinking about any of the kills. And then you're looking primarily for the Ana, the Genji, or the Cassidy, and prefer the Cassidy and Ana over everyone else. The Cassidy is the best because he'll never have a cooldown, or if he's away from his supports. The only thing that he can hit you with is the grenade, but if you're jumping over him, it's very hard to hit the grenade. So he steps out of line here somewhere, or he gets down to half health. I think it's like even the very beginning fight where you're still spamming, and then again right clicks only. Like at this range, right clicks only at like very far range. Yeah, where he gets down to half health here. If you ever see a target at half health, especially if you have both of your cooldowns, just hit the dash in, hit the right click dash in. He's gonna die from a right click dash. If not, you can hit the right click dash in and then turn around and right click melee, and then he'll die. And then the better you get at your mechanics, the faster you'll be able to switch from target to target. And then eventually you'll be able to immediately, as soon as you hear the kill thing, you're ready and primed to go onto this Ana and right click dash onto her. But for now, I only expect that like when you see an opportunity when someone is half health, I want you to just always like, unless you know they have cooldowns, but they don't have cooldowns because you just saw them use it all, or in the middle of a team fight because they'll probably not have older cooldowns, just go for it, and then we can analyze later why it didn't work, or you can think about your death and it's like, oh, okay, they had Bionade and they had a bubble and they had more orb to save him. So I shouldn't do that when they have those cooldowns, and I should only go in when I know for sure I've seen those so they don't have those cooldowns. But I mean, it's kind of a lot to expect because cooldown tracking is pretty hard, but you kind of have to on Genji. He's like one of the hardest. Otherwise, you can just like keep on going in and pray that they don't have the cooldowns, but just understanding the cooldowns. So this engage is good, but the way you do it is, remember, right click dash in and jump over their heads. Like 180, right click melee and jump over their heads. So I want it to be like muscle memory, so then you don't have to think about it. You just go, oh, he's a target I can go on in your head, and that should take like, you know, just enough to recognize he's half health, and then you just do the thing, and then after you do the thing, we can think. And then it happens a couple of times again in the next fights. Yeah, here where it's and then also your positioning here. This is fine, but as soon as you start taking damage, make sure that you go back equidistant to your tank, where if we draw a line in between yourself and the enemy tank, you should never be over this line unless you're like they're coming back and you're poking here, which is fine. But usually I want you like in between This is like offensive positioning because your tank is back a little when she should be like up at this choke point. Otherwise, I want you in line with your tank or slightly in front or behind. Like, in line but with an allowance. So that way they have to choose. It's like choose shoot D.Va or shoot you. And it's never like only shoot you to the enemies when you're positioning up this far in this team fight. It's like they don't even have a choice. You're just going to be shot no matter what. Because you're the only target out here, and it's going to force you to do things like dash out. Or if there's an opportunity where one of them is half health, and you're also half health, then you can no longer go in because you might not get that kill. So that's like a very small thing about your positioning that we can work on immediately, where it's just like, if you don't see your tank, you're probably really far forward. Or if you're taking a lot of damage, you're probably really far forward. And then so, for example, this would be a good opportunity to, since they're both up top and their healers aren't necessarily with them, you can always like take a right click dash in, where if you're really confident about your mechanics, right click dash in and then do the jump and right click. And I wouldn't melee here because they're full health and there's not a really good chance that you're going to kill those people unless you're very confident. Like if you're very confident that you're going to hit your headshots when you right click dash in and right click melee, then you can go for it. Otherwise, again, this 1v1 against the soldier, really good 1v1. Never left click. Like, you should stop left clicking unless they're super far away. So, like, you can get a tiny bit more damage, but a tiny bit is all it takes sometimes. Especially when you're on Genji on a close range duel. Initiate this fight with the dash because you want to disorient the enemies. Since you're committing to this fight already. If you're not behind a corner, you're probably committing to a fight. Otherwise, we can just say, oh, we committed to that fight when we shouldn't have. But right-click dash and then jump over him here and be right-clicking, and you'll most definitely get this kill next time. Why I was emphasizing the right-click so much is you would have gotten this kill if you just right-click dashed here. Hit him with 2 shurikens, or maybe even 1 shuriken, and he would have died there. And then, like, if we're getting more advanced and you're more confident in your skills, you could have gone for that Cassidy. In the chaos of the battle, chaining kills is a bit easier than finding the first one, because they're going to be too focused on the first person, and as soon as he dies, they won't. You're predicting the next person, where they have to react to you going on to the next person, so you have the advantage slightly. I think let's find one more example where they're low health and you can engage onto them. Second point, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah. So, well, let's go towards the end. I remember there's specifically a point. Is it here? Yeah, I think it's here. Maybe not. Okay, hold on. Where they're half health. And if you can minimize the amount of damage you're taking in the neutral as much as possible, that's also really good for you. No, it's not that engage. Probably before the blade. Okay, this one on the cast. So you see the Cassidy and you identify him as a target. Where as soon as this fight can go into your direction, I want you to start the fight off with the right click and dash. So you get behind him, and so he will never hit a shot unless he's really good. So you right click dash and you get above him afterwards, like we were practicing before. But that'll also, like, you don't have to actually hit your shots, you just have to hit your dash. And if you hit your dash, the right clicks will follow. So that way you don't have to sit here aiming this entire time. You hit your dash, and it's so easy for you to hit the shots once you're above him. And then the right-click distance was a little bit far on this one, but nevertheless, that burst damage in the very beginning is not only going to help yourself out a lot. Okay, yeah, you really overshoot here. But you can get used to that over time. Aim for the feet, by the way. Always aim for the feet. Unless you're blading and you need to go through them behind, like to another target. If you're not at the maximum range at the dash, aim for the feet. But not only will this enable yourself to do more damage, just purely based off of your positioning, but also they'll probably never hit you again. So go ahead and queue for another game. And then we're gonna yeah, try to improve on those things.
Mm. Oh, do you want me to stream it again, or?
I'll be watching in the spectator.
Oh, okay. Didn't really realize that was a thing.
Yeah, in comp matches you cannot spectate your friends, but in quick play you can. It's very really nice. So then high quality replay or high quality spectating.
Alright, I'm in.
Cool. Oh, Junkertown. Very fun.
Oh no, if that's like a good map for Genji. I'm always scared of Widowmakers on here, I'll be honest.
This map, you okay. Against the rules of what I was saying earlier about like staying in main on an off angle, this map is one of the maps where you can hard flank and try to find off like enemies on the off or on the flank where you can pick them out and take 1v1s because you can separate them from their healers so easily. But for the most part, I still want you playing in the neutral. So a good place to start over here would be on the left side at the top of the staircase where your Ana is right now. Right over there on this side, and you get this corner here, and so you have the off angle because your tank is probably going to start on that right side.
Hope I get to see them backstage.
Okay.
Or not. I don't know where your tank is starting, but this is still a good position because you have a lot of cover, and then you also have the health pack pretty nearby.
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Yeah, go ahead and identify what characters they have here in your brain. So,
Oh, crazy.
yeah, I hear Zenyatta, so that's a very easy target for you to die. So as soon as you see the Zenyatta, if you ever see him, you can do very nice right click dash. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as you get your dash right click dash into that guy. Very nice. Do the same for Ashe as soon as you see her as well.
Oh my god.
Yep. Then go ahead and reset because your tank died. Yeah, remember you want to be playing with your tank here, or engaging when your tank engages, and they can't engage while they're dead. So, oh, nice kill. So the Zenyatta's back alive. You can just wait for the opportunity for when he gets close. Yeah, hit it. Very nice.
Oh my god, where is he?
All good.
Sometimes I get too confused.
Hit the right click dash, bro. Nice. The Ashe is also alive too, right? Oh, okay, never mind. She died. Yeah, I feel like you're immediately a lot better from that last game, just doing the right click dashes. And so, actually, this is one place where you can flank because they have a Zenyatta. Well, actually, don't flank yet because they still have Suzu. You'll never kill that Zen if the Kiriko is good. Okay, so...
Oh my god. Oh my god. Please, please, no, no, no.
Okay. So that's why playing positioning very well with your tank is very important. Also near a health pack is slightly important, but if you separate from your healers in your time of need, it's very hard for your healers to rotate to be able to heal you. Not just mechanically, because they're also brain dead and they'll only heal what's in front of them. Oh, okay, they all died. A shot?
Okay. I could have gotten that. She was
Yeah.
pretty low.
Definitely. If you did the 180 in melee, you probably would have died to the dynamite still, but that's for another day. And so the entire objective of our coaching today is increase your lethality. So if you're dying very often, that shouldn't be much of a surprise, but as long as you're getting more kills, then the goal is accomplished today. So the Zenyatta is an easy target.
It's like my DPS, like my number, is it like a good representation of how effective I am as a Genji, or? should I not really worry about that?
To a certain extent, but don't worry about it. You can always track it based off, because every game is so different, every team composition. Some team compositions, if you're having like, for example, 1 kill every 10 minutes, sometimes you might be doing the maximum potential for Genji just because of that team composition. Other team compositions, you might get like 30 kills every 10 minutes, and it's just how it is. So you can vaguely track how well you're doing, because if you're at 0 kills on a game when it ends, then you probably didn't play well that game. But it's not the end all be all. Definitely not.
Okay. Oh my god, I think that was a bad idea.
Yeah, remember, where's your tank right now? Play at the off angle of the tank.
Whoever holds your peace.
60 seconds remaining.
Oh wow, you got that kill. That was really good. I would
Yes.
never.
The Tracer also fucking scares me.
Tracer versus Genji is also a skill matchup, so the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it.
Tracer in general always is like a hard target for me.
30 seconds remaining.
It's like it gets so confused with all the fucking stuff she does.
I leave flames in my wake.
Very nice.
10 seconds remaining.
No!
Oh, so close. All right. How do you feel about that game?
I feel like I did a lot better than like last match.
Mhm.
I got like a lot more kills than
Play
that like I should have gotten like last time, because last time I was like not really doing the right click thing, and I don't know, I was not really trying to go for high ground that much. I tried to do that a bit more right here.
Yeah, for sure. I think the high ground was pretty good. The right click kills were definitely like a big thing in your gameplay here. More importantly, or like the couple of things that I really want you to work on now, that because you adapted really well to the right click thing, jumping up above them and initiating with your dash are still very hard for you. The jumping should be like very easy. Initiating will come over time because it you have to like calculate in your head or feel whether or not it's a good time to initiate. For the most part, I want you initiating with your dash. So I guess limit test and be able to understand after you see what heroes they have and start tracking the cooldowns in your head. Just be like, go in, and if it doesn't work out, just be like, oh, it's because they had this cooldown. I'll not do that next time when they have that cooldown. And then the most important one is playing with your tank, because that one you can just immediately do, where it's like when your tank is dead, play very passive, and that's where you can use your left clicks because you're going to be very far from the enemies. When your tank is pushing up, it lets you push up, and you do that. But then when your tank starts pulling back, you end up staying in, and that's very, very risky, and that everyone's going to look at you during that time, so that's going to be really bad for you. And then like also the off angles. So if you find yourself like on your tank, remember, separate to the off angle on the side and try to get the high ground. So you're doing a good job of high grounds, mostly just like the disengaging with your tank. So if you're not fully committed inside of a fight, that probably means that you should be, I call it floating. If you're floating in the enemy backline, you should probably just get out and wait for the next opportunity. Do you have any questions?
I just had one and then I kind of forgot it. Oh my god, my bad. Hold on. Oh my god.
All good. Yeah, I think. Yeah, go ahead and DM me again in maybe like a week or so, and then we can do another coaching session. I gotta go right now.